guys, I was harvesting some beans in here. Found a little Pomegranate doing some work in here, helped me keep that balance. There he is right in the middle. It's kind of a little hard to see because he's amongst all the green plants, but it's a nice size one. Looks like he's eating well in here, doing good work for us. Keeping that balance, that's what it's all really about.
What's going on, guys? August 14th, James Prigioni coming to you live from Jersey. Just giving you guys an update, showing you how things are doing. I haven't had the opportunity to do an update for over a week, so sorry for not getting it in, but doing my best. And today I had some time, so I'm gonna bring you guys through, show you a few things, throw a couple of clips together, and try to get more of a structured video out of it now that I have some time today. So one of the things I wanted to address and do in specific was look at some of the fruit trees more and talk about them a little bit, because I had what probably shaping up to be one of my favorite comments of the year so far the other day, a couple weeks ago in one of the videos. Someone said that I had mentioned I had a bunch of fruit trees, but they said they didn't see any of them. They didn't see any of the fruit trees, and to me that's about the best compliment I could have got. You know, there's got to be about 20 fruit trees in here. So if you didn't see the fruit trees, then I'm doing a great job of having a system set up where, you know, the trees are being hidden in more of a natural environment rather than just standing out. So if people are having a tough time finding them, then the pests are definitely going to have a tough time finding them. So I think that's all going to work together for good. That's kind of how I designed the system, to take care of itself, to be more like a forest. That's why we get the food forest theme. In a forest, you don't just have trees growing by themselves. Everything's growing together in a system, supporting each other, balancing out the system to come together for an overall yield. So that's what we're trying to do here. So I'm going to walk through a little bit, you know, give you a little clip, show you a little bit of most of the trees, tell you how they did, and we'll go along with that. Here's a peach tree. It's done well. Had a lot of growth this year. It's kind of underneath the shade of a mulberry tree, which is nice. It's helping that out. Looks like we got a critter down there or something. I see some lettuce moving.
Probably a bunny, but
it's so thick in there I can't even see. I've got to come through and harvest the lettuce and harvest a few other things. Maybe I'll throw a clip of that and how I like to harvest the lettuce. I've got a decent method. So my brother kind of came up with it, so I'll have to show you that. Here's a apple tree right here, so that's 2 fruit trees already. This apple tree hasn't done great, but it's done pretty well. It's got a little bit of tip growth, maybe about a foot, maybe 6 inches. So it's done all right. The garden is more on the tail end of the summer, you know what I mean? A lot of stuff is finishing up, so I'm going to be coming through here at some point and cutting a lot of this stuff down, mulching it and composting it, and then planting fall crops. Here's another peach tree that's done real well. This one's got a lot of growth this year, you know, over a foot. So this is a different variety. We have a number of different varieties of peach trees. This is the Bella Georgia. So what's that? That's 3 so far, fruit trees. Here's a plum. No, not a plum. A pear. I think this is the Moon Glow. Yeah, the Moon Glow pear. So this one's done all right. It had a rough start, but it's starting to come through and do pretty well. So that's number 4. Here's another one. Apple. Red Delicious apple. Done pretty well. Probably one of the best of the apples. None of the apples did great this year. I'm not sure if it was climate or what, but maybe they take a little longer to adjust to the place we live in, because, you know, we're not babying these trees. We're not giving them water, taking care of them that much. We've got the wood chips down to help build the mycorrhizal relationship, and then we want them to spread their roots, because they were in root balls, and kind of spread out there and find their own water rather than just being completely dependent upon us. Here's a 3-grafted pear tree that's done well. It had a slow start because it had too much fruit on it when we planted it, because we only planted this one this year. So it was slow to start, but now that we've taken all the fruit off, it has really done well. Its leaves got this good waxy color on them, waxy coating to keep from the bugs, so that's done well. It's number 6, I think. Here's number 7. Here's a peach tree. This is a frost. This is a variety that is leaf curl resistant, which is good in our climate because we have a really humid climate here, being in Jersey and also being close to the water. So this should do well. It had a slow start this year. Same thing, we left too much fruit on it, but as we've taken it off, it's starting to come back a little bit. We did get one peach out of it actually, and it was delicious, so it was good hope for the future. Here's some zucchini going to seed. Also more zucchini going to seed down there. Big ones. We've chosen what's basically the best, healthiest plants we've had and allowed them to put out big zucchinis so we can save seed from. And here's another one here. And another one with the plant is virtually finished. That's how I'll kind of let it happen more. Let the plant finish and let the seeds ripen as they would naturally, then come through and harvest. There's another one here. There's a bunch more throughout the garden. Here's something cool. If you guys never seen, this is carrot. After it's been gone to seed, there's a carrot seeds here. And couldn't imagine how many are in here. There's just so many in here. I'll just take a couple with my hand here. A little tough with one hand, but you know, make it work. So these are all carrot seeds. There's got to be about, 8 or 10 there, and that's got to filled with. There's got to be hundreds of seeds in there, just in one carrot going to seed. So that's a biennial. It takes till the second year, but it's cool and it's worth it. So I think this will be fruit tree number 7, Santa Rosa Plum. Done the best out of any trees. The amount of growth has been incredible. Hopefully we're hoping to get some fruit out of it next year. And this has been in here one of the longest, probably this is the second year, and it's taken off. So we have high hopes for this tree. That's 6 or 7. 7 maybe is 8, I guess. Got too many things going on to continue the counting, sorry. Here's another apple tree. We'll call this 8. Golden Delicious. It's done well. Golden Delicious have done pretty well for the apples. I guess that's 8. 9 is another Santa Rosa Plum back here. This one's starting to catch up. It's starting to do real well, just like the other Santa Rosa Plums. They seem like they like it around here. So it's doing well. I think that's 9. Here's another peach tree. We'll make that 10. Done it well also. A lot of good growth. Seems to like where it's at. Grapes are just trellising on everything. They're gripping on the apple tree over here, gripping anywhere they can. But it looks like we're going to grape harvest this year, hopefully. You can see all the grapes down here. They're all turning purple already. They taste delicious. I've been eating a couple of them. I'm going to let them ripen a little more. Then I'm going to probably pick some of them over here as well. Beautiful. When grapes put out fruit, it's one of the most beautiful things, the clusters they put them in. There's more of them starting to turn a little bit. These are only the second year in. So the next year should be we should get a real nice grape harvest. What was that, 9 or 10? I don't remember, sorry. I'll call this 10, maybe 11. Apple tree. 5 grafted. A little stressed out, you can tell by the leaves. I think it's going to come back though. I think this is just a year where we left too many fruit on it again. So next year we'll see how it bounces back. I guess this is 12. Another peach tree. The peach trees have done the best. Stone fruits in general have done the best. So we're going to focus more on those, I guess, even though we want the apples. So it's kind of hard. But that's why we have a lot of the trees in here. Some of the trees are going to decide. They're going to choose themselves on what trees end up making it in here. 13, another apple. Yellow Delicious in here. And we've got grapes trellising against the back over there and over there. So this is the south facing. So everything on the south facing wall, we've got grapes. Got some nice watermelons in here too. Big one back there. Let me walk it over to you. Back here. Big watermelon, so hopefully we'll get some watermelon from that. Here's a pepper plant that's doing good. These are sweet peppers. We've got one already so far. There's a bunch on here getting ready to turn red. Blueberry plants hiding underneath. Here's another nice watermelon.
In here, it's a nice big one in there, doing well.
Sorry, I lost count. 13, I guess. This is Burbank Plum. Doing pretty well, so I guess I'll call that 13. Doing well also. Not as good as the Santa Rosa plums, but still doing pretty well. Then here's a big cherry tree that's doing great. We'll call that 14. Doing real well. Next year we're hoping to get some cherries on it. Didn't get really any this year, but I think this was a good growth year for it. So I think next year it's going to be focusing on putting out some more fruit. 15, here's what kind of cherry is this? Forget the particular variety. Let me check it out real quick. Mount Morency, that's it. So this is a Mount Morency cherry. It's done well. We got a decent amount of cherries from it this year for how small it is. And after it started releasing cherries, the health came back a lot and it's gotten some good growth on it. So we're happy about that. This is 16. Here's another apple tree. Doing well. Not thriving, but still doing pretty well. And you can see the horticulture mound back here. It's gone crazy. It's gone wild. The amaranth's gotten huge. Tomatoes have taken over back here. So it's doing well though. What was that, 16 or 17? I don't remember. Maybe I don't have exactly 20. I know I got a couple more. I think I mentioned the Yellow Delicious back there. So I got one more. Maybe it's just 18 then.
Here's a pomegranate tree down here. Hiding underneath here, but still doing alright. Came back, was given to us by our neighbor. So it's done pretty well. So it looks like more of 18 fruit trees rather than 20. Sorry guys, I might have missed one, but I know we cut two of them down that didn't do well, so I've got two more along the side that I haven't planted that I had got for like $7. Got I think another Santa Rosa plum and a Kefir pear maybe, so we're gonna plant those and that'll be 20. So there's 18 in here right now. So thanks for tuning in guys. Cut it off for here. Back in one of the corners of the garden now. I'll show you in relation to the praying mantis where it just was. Praying mantis was just right in that little patch there. The house is up there, so this is really like the back right corner if you're looking from the house. And I just love it back here. We've got this peach tree that didn't bear any fruit this year, but it's bearing fruit as a trellis. It's got green beans going everywhere, trellising through it. One's going up the stalk over here. Pole beans. Nice ones. I'll probably let those ones go to seed or something. I've been eating a couple of them fresh. Not as good as some of the... Oh man, look at that. Nice watermelon growing with more beans around down there around the tree, like in a little bit of shade. So these ones aren't as good fresh as some of the bush beans, but they're still pretty good. I wanted to show you this too, also growing with the hanging down from the tree. You can see there's this cucumber that's trellised its way up to the tree, producing nice cucumbers. It's a nice one. Grab that. I'll give you guys a nice picture of the harvest. It was a good harvest today. This is just the beans and 2 cucumbers I just found back here. And there's beets in there. I'll show you the hugel bed in a little while more, but it's gone crazy. It's just nice back in this corner where it gets a good amount of shade and stuff. So I'll show you a bit more now. Still back here in that corner, I wanted to show you when I turn around over there. I've got a huge watermelon. It's gone trellising up against the fence, and then it was so heavy it kind of just pulled it down and dropped it. So it's a nice watermelon right there. It's looking really thin. I guess that's due to gravity. It's thin and long, so I think it'll start fattening up at some point. And there's cucumbers growing up it. I see a nice cucumber right under there I'll have to go grab. And then as you go down the line, there's grapes, huge sunflowers, blackberries. Everything just kind of taking care of itself, and all the bugs helping the balance between the beneficial ones and then more of the pest ones. What's going on, YouTube? Here's the harvest today, August 14th. We had more cucumbers and stuff, but my sister was just over. She was going to make pickles today, so we gave her a bunch of cucumbers and some dill, so we can make it with some fresh ones. A bunch of green squash and yellow squash. Zucchini still coming. Here's beans. This was full, but again, I sent her home with some beans. She didn't have any growing. There's tomatoes and stuff, all different varieties. This is the classic one we've had for a couple of years. This one's have that coloring, but this one's already done. It's almost getting a little soft, definitely ready to eat. All different varieties in here, so a good harvest for, again, zero maintenance. I will say though, if I could have done a little maintenance in the garden, a little more, I think stuff would have came out. We would have got a higher harvest. I didn't have time to do basically any maintenance, any watering, anything, but if I had gotten in there and thinned a few things out a little bit more and did a little bit of more stewardship, I think we would have got a little better harvest. But you know, you do what you can, so that's why I like to set up a system like this, because if like it was this year where I just didn't have the time to do it or the opportunity to get out there, then it can essentially still take care of itself and give us some good yields and feed us for the summer. So thanks for tuning in, guys. Thanks for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, give me a thumbs up. I'd appreciate it. If you think it'll, you know, bless someone else with the words or what's been said, or, you know, maybe inspire somebody, share it. I'd appreciate that. Subscribe too, because I like to do these updates weekly. I'm gonna try to expand the channel a little more when it gets into the winter. Maybe do some more either discussions or do something to keep up with the videos, to keep connected with you guys. So thanks for tuning in. Here's a little cantaloupe too. So it had fallen off the vine, so I'm pretty sure it's ready to eat. Thanks for tuning in. James Prigioni is out.